what happens when you debate. Sometimes in Dharamsala, Indian tourists or other tourists come, and oftentimes they ask, why are you fighting? What are you doing? And you take some time sometimes to explain it to them. And I remember one of my classmates said, they asked them, why do you clap your hands? And he said, that's the question mark. So it's a question mark. So when you clap your hands, it's like a question mark. But of course, that's not really what it means. But it was the easiest way to explain it and then go back to the debate. Being very active and being very loud, it may seem aggressive. Well, it is to a certain degree, it can have that, but it's not anything personal. It's not like people are really angry, but it's just how the mind works as well. If you physically are forceful, then your mind becomes quicker, and is also quicker in terms of formulating an argument, pointing out an inconsistency, and so forth. So especially for the challenger. So the challenger, there's a certain movement involved. Well, the thing is, actually, in India, they didn't debate in that same way. They sat down and they snapped their fingers. So they both sat down, as far as I've been told by my teachers. So both the person who's the defender and the person sitting, and then the person challenging, they both sit, and the person debating just snaps their finger. Now, that makes sense if it's really hot. You know, like in India, traditionally it was hot. But in Tibet, if you just sit there the whole time, you probably freeze to the ground. I mean, it's definitely makes more sense that you move. And I don't know whether it's true that in India they merely, you know, snap their finger and they sat down. Because this whole movement, as I just said, brings this energy into it. It helps your mind. I mean, just the bodily movement, it helps you to be mindful, to stay mindful, but it looks to, a lot of people as, you know, very aggressive, and it needs to be explained that it's just a tool. But as to the actual symbolic, it's said to be highly symbolic, this movement of your hands, like you clap your hands and you move, you kind of turn your left hand up and you move your right hand kind of towards the back. At the same time, you stomp your foot. Wait, let me just... Yeah, you stomp your foot. You stomp your left foot. And it's highly symbolic. So I hope I remember all the symbolism, because honestly, while you're debating, I don't remember this, but it's definitely explained to us. So you visualize that when you clap your hand and you pull it back, you're basically taking sentient beings out of the lower realms. And when you stomp your foot, doing all this together, you're closing the doors to the lower realms. That's how I remember it. I could be wrong and I could mix it up, but that's how far I remember it. So it is highly symbolic, but as I said, while you're debating, that's not what you remember. You have to remember so much else. Also, something that is considered really important when you debate is to be quick. You can't keep long breaks. So when you answer, you have to answer right away, because people make fun of you, or at least they make this specific sound like chir chir chir. They say chir chir, so they kind of like, come, answer, 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 answer. So how, if you have to take a moment to concentrate, you can't. And if you're with many people, they're basically saying answer, answer, answer the whole time. So it's like you have to say something, and oftentimes you make a mistake because you don't have the time to think clearly. And of course, that mistake comes back to you. I mean, they use it to then formulate an argument. So it really teaches you to be on your toes, as in like to be quick. So in that sense, also extremely important for like quick comprehension of anything, and be quick to have to have a sense of the logical implications of a certain argument. But it's beautiful, this movement. Like I said, it helps you to keep focused, to keep on the topic.